So I'm here at Crystal Hot Springs in Honeyville, and they've cut down all these huge trees. This is a long line of dead trees that are laying here. They used to have camping over here in this area and an RV park over here in this area. And it looks like they've cut down all these giant trees. Look how big these trees are. And I'll bet this is why. Because these giant trees have deep roots. And of all these trees around here, most of them don't bear any burn signatures at all. But these that do have burn signatures, are burned, have all the signatures of plasma fire. So these are not just logs that came out of Anyway, this was plasma fire that happened to the trees here that are burned. And I'll take you back along and show you. That right there is enough. You should be able to see right there. Burn with unburn here and unburn there. That's plasma fire 1000%. And then you can see other burn here and there. And if you know what you're looking at and if you know what you're looking for, yes, it's plasma fire. And it's really depressing because this was one of my favorite spots. And I just came along here, decided to come walk and take a look at what the hell they done and why. And as you can see, most of it does not have any burn. But what I'm thinking happened, I don't know. But they've destroyed one of my favorite spots. They cut down all the trees. And they didn't even put them in a tree museum. And you can't even pay $1.50 to see them anymore. So, but clear down there at the end is where they stashed the plasma burn wood. And it looks like they've just torn out all of the picnic area, and they've thrown some of the fences and tables and shit in here with the wood. None of this wood is burned. Only those ones clear down on the end. But because these were such giant trees, that means they also have deep roots. And I'm not sure what premise they based the decision to say, okay, let's just tear down all the trees and no longer offer camping as a service anymore. But that's what they've done, and you could see down there on the end that those trees were plasma burned. So this is what they've done. I'm guessing it probably had something to do with the fire risk, and they said we can't afford the risk because it's not a matter of if, but when. So they cut down all these trees, and only the ones clear down there on the end of this large pile had any burn at all. And so all those trees used to be right here. I'll show you some of the stumps over here, but there's the picnic tables. And I'm thinking they did all of this because of the plasma fire risk. Bummer. Big, big bummer. Because I called earlier this week or two ago, looking to make some reservations for the tent camping sites. And on their recording, I don't know where all these tires came from, but on their recording it said we no longer offer camping as a service anymore. And they used to have an RV park over here, and that red building had washer and dryer. Over here where you see this one camper, I don't know if they still do the RV park, but I doubt it because today's a Saturday. And if they did, there would be a bunch of RVs over there. So apparently they no longer do RV park or tent camping. And it just sucks. And I'm pretty sure it had to do with the fire situation. They just decided it's not worth the liability anymore. And as I'm walking up on this one, I can see the plasma fire burn from right here. Unburn, burned all the way through, and you can see that the way that it burned, this won't quite stay up, but you can see how it's taken out 3/4. It's unburned on this side. And right here, if I can keep that up with my foot, from right here to right there, you can see that it's taken out a good portion of that, and fire don't do that. So that's definitely plasma fire. The other thing fire don't do is leave it unburned on this side, completely unburned all the way down. This is unburned wood. If it wasn't wet, it's wet right now, so it looks dark. But that's unburned. The fine line between the burn and unburn here, burn and unburn there. The burn here and the unburn on this side. And the same thing on this other side. Well, it's kind of hard to see, but yeah, bottom line is that is plasma fire, and that's why we don't get a camp no more. And it looks like this log, yeah. Whoo! There is some bees under there that probably don't appreciate me fucking around. Hold on. I'll see if I can't flip it over without getting stung by all the bees. Yeah. See all the bees down there? I gotta kick it over. Yeah. There you go. So now you can see that that's plasma fire also, from here over to here. As long as I can avoid getting stung by all them fuckers. But you can see the same effect. Unburn here, and it starts to burn there. Over to here. Unburn here, starts to burn there. And it chewed out a good chunk of it. Approximately the same length as this other board, and approximately the same distance off the end. It's almost like those two were lined up. Where this one burned is nearly an exact match to where this one burned, from here to there. So, yep, plasma fire is why we don't get to go camping here anymore. So, sucks. So here's where the campsites were. You can see water spigot, and each one of these was a lot where you could put a tent in. You can see where the giant trees were. Giant tree here, giant tree here, giant tree there. Giant trees, and giant trees have deep, deep roots. The deeper the root, the more electricity that it draws from the ground when there's a fluctuation in the magnetic field that produces a surge of ground current. So, that's why we can't have nice things. So you can see that it wasn't burned inside these trees that they cut down, but someone told them, you better just get rid of that camping facility voluntarily, or it's gonna go up anyway, because those giant trees with those deep roots are guaranteed. Those were looking like singed. Anyway, they just barely cut this all down and did away with this, and I'm just kind of depressed. But you can see these giant trees provided nice shade for the camping area. This was all camp spots. And now they've done away with it. That's the pile of trees that they piled up down there. And the burned plasma trees are the ones clear down at the end. And I'm sure that's not by accident. These boards over here that I showed you are 1000% plasma fire. So that's why no more camping at Crystal Hot Springs. But these clouds are badass. And the weather today has been beautiful. It rained for the first 3/4 of the day. I was over there soaking in the springs during the rain. Like a lot of the time, they'll kick you out if there's lightning within 30 minutes. But today it was rain, but no lightning. And these clouds are so low. It was really fun. So anyway, I'm kind of bummed. So, no more camping at Crystal Hot Springs. But I guess that's part of the detachment process. because we got to leave this all behind anyway, because it's about to get wiped out anyway. So I guess this is just one of many things I'm going to have to get used to letting go of.